Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you guys. Welcome to the Full 100, the last edition of the week. It's Friday the 31st. It's the last day of July, guys. It's August next month. It's another 4 months and it's Christmas. Wow, how time flies. Guys, I've got an interesting show for you guys today. One to prove my point, an amazing look, a COVID worldwide look, especially to my Muslim friends. A COVID look at Saudi Arabia and Mecca, which is normally packed at this time of the year. Happy Eid to my Muslim friends. And without further ado, guys, let's get to it. Guys, I want to start today's show with something I spoke about when I started these videos, when I started my platform back in April, early April, first week in April I started this. A lot of videos have been flying around talking about vaccine, and black guys were sharing it, my community was sharing it because they were laser focused on vaccine, which was the message in those videos, was saying vaccine is going to do this to you, don't take the vaccine, they're going to chip you, microchip you, and 666. They were so laser focused on that, they missed the big message, big bold message on those videos. What was that message? Give Trump a second term, cancel the election, let's Trump stay in. And that's back then when Trump was in as much trouble as he is now. He knew he might lose, but he's definitely going to lose now, 1,000,000,000%. But at the time, it was a 60-40 thing that he was going to lose because the economy was all right and all of that. And that was the message that my friends were putting out. They were missing the big picture of the message, not realizing this was Trump black prophets putting these things out. Okay, that was back in April. Guess what? Last night he showed his true intentions. The man is talking about cancelling the elections. You know those sort of people where you start a race, they boast, and you're doing a friends race, like 100-meter race, all friends and stuff. And when everyone's on your marks, get set and go, and everyone goes, and one man said, no, come back, bring it back, no, I wasn't ready, no, let's cancel this one, we got to start again. That's what this guy's on, guy. Even his own party saying you can't do that. No, you can't do that. If you lose, brother. You can't. Take a look, guys.
November's election. It can't do that, by the way, but he says people will be afraid to vote in person because of the pandemic, and he doesn't trust mail-in ballots.
I just feel I don't want to delay. I want to have the election. But I also don't want to have to wait for 3 months and then find out that the ballots are all missing and the election doesn't mean anything. That's what's going to happen, Steve. It's common sense. And everyone knows it. Smart people know it. Stupid people may not know it.
Welcome back, guys. You did hear it here first. I warned you guys that this was the agenda. This was the agenda the whole time. All of what you're seeing right now, including lying about the shootings, including it's all leading to one thing: cancel the election, postpone the election, steal the election, or just refuse to leave if you lose. That's the 4 agendas, my brother. Look out for those and we'll keep you guys posted. But did you hear him though? Did you hear him say how if you know those who are smart, they know the election is going to be rigged. Those who are smart, they know cheating is going to go on. Only the stupid people don't know. This is Trump. Trump, who got left millions and millions and millions and still ended up bankrupting everything that he ever touched. Trump, whose attention span is worse than my son when he was 2 years old. He's 9 now. When he was 2 years old, Trump's attention span. This is someone who wants to tell you to inject bleach, to put UV light inside the body. But he's the smart one. Okay. Guys, listen to what Obama done with him. Take a look.
Barack Obama took note of Mr. Trump's election comments, making a not-so-thinly veiled swipe at President Trump and others for attacking voter rights, while speaking at the funeral of one of the champions of voting rights, the late Congressman John Lewis.
There are those in power who are doing their darndest to discourage people from voting. by closing polling locations and targeting minorities and students with restrictive ID laws and attacking our voting rights with surgical precision, even undermining the Postal Service in the run-up to an election that's going to be dependent on mail-in ballots so people don't get sick.
Ron Brown.
Guys, that was Obama's smashing speech at John Lewis. I brought you guys John Lewis's funeral parade yesterday. That was Obama's speech at John Lewis's funeral. He absolutely smashed Trump to pieces, guys. Guys, I want to move on to a sad story. Even though this guy actually deserves what he got. A guy by the name of Herman Cain. This guy was one of the there was two black runners. You see, when Trump was running for president in 2016, there was two black candidates or trying to run for president at the same time. Herman Cain was one of them, right? He dropped out pretty early on and he threw his all in with someone else, and then later on with Trump when it looked like Trump was going to win the nomination to then go to run against Hillary. Now, I brought you guys in June, right? Trump's rally in Tulsa, that people said to him, don't have it in the middle of the pandemic. What are you doing? And he went ahead anyway. I showed that on this platform. You know what happened? This guy, Herman Cain, put a tweet up, and I actually saved that on my phone for a while, and then I got rid of it because I didn't find a reason, nowhere to slot it in. I wish I kept it now, because Herman Cain from the rally tweeted, basically was saying, is this a democracy or what? Okay, and people are fed up. We don't like masks, he said, and he took a picture from the arena of Trump's rally. Well, truth be told, he got sick within a week. He spent the last 3 weeks in hospital, and he died yesterday of corona. That is a lesson that some of you won't even care. Some of you won't care. There was another guy I brought to you guys who put tweet out saying about masks until his son caught it, and then he deleted his Twitter account. So all of these guys are getting caught out. I mean, that actual, where Herman Cain got sick, remember I told you guys 26, over 24 of Trump's Secret Service people got sick. 26 on that one trip. That's the same trip and rally that killed Herman Cain. Take a look at his brief story here.
Honouring the life of his friend and one-time presidential candidate, Herman Cain. CNN's Caitlin Collins reports.
Yesterday, President Trump came out at this briefing. He noted the death of his friend, Herman Cain, one of the most prominent people to die so far from coronavirus. And of course, as it was widely reported at the time, Cain contracted coronavirus after a series of travel, his family said, but notably the president's indoor rally in Tulsa, Oklahoma in late June, which Cain attended, and then several days later he tested positive for coronavirus. And only days after that, he was put into the hospital. And of course, that's where he spent the last month before his family tragically announced that he had passed away yesterday at the age of 74. Now, when the president was addressing Cain's death at his briefing yesterday, he did not note that Cain had been at his rally, seen in pictures not wearing a mask. Of course, that was that rally where masks were not required, and several staffers at the time ended up testing positive. But instead of...
Welcome back, guys. It's pretty sad, and my condolences to his family. However, there is I'll leave it unsaid because it really isn't fair on his family. Guys, I want to move over to COVID now. My weekly total COVID roundup. Okay, so I'm starting today's COVID roundup with an amazing look at Mecca, which is normally packed this time of year. So Saudi Arabia has not let any foreigners come, which is a pilgrimage. People come from all over the world and converge in Mecca. They've allowed no foreigners, nobody from outside the country to come in. Their borders are shut. So what they've done, they've kept it to just those who reside in the country itself. If you're a foreign passport holder or you're a citizen of Saudi, they're letting you have your pilgrimage, basically. So guys, take a look at what take a look at what COVID-19 has done to Mecca and Eid.
Virus, only a fraction of the usual crowds are allowed to participate in this year's Hajj, one of Islam's holy rituals. But worshippers who did attend say this year's pilgrimage has a special purpose, a chance to pray for the whole world. Jemana Karachi reports.
It's been a Hajj like no other in modern history. The global pandemic turned Islam's most important annual pilgrimage into a symbolic one. Strict social distancing transformed the movement of the faithful around their holiest shrine, the Kaaba, into this perfectly choreographed event. A stark contrast to years past, when more than 2 million Muslims would converge on Mecca for this religious obligation.
This year has, of course, been exceptional for the whole world. So it was imperative that we have to make a balance between allowing people to perform their religious duties and also, in the same time, keeping them healthy and safe.
An army of cleaners have been working around the clock, mopping and disinfecting the holy sites. With the highest number of confirmed coronavirus cases in the Arab world, Saudi Arabia is not taking any chances. For the first time in decades, no pilgrims were allowed to travel into the country. It's only Saudi and foreign residents of the kingdom, about 1,000, who've undergone a rigorous selection process. Australian Kenny Youssef says performing this Hajj is a privilege.
Having the chance to be able to pray for the entire world to heal from this pandemic is one of I see it as a core responsibility for this year's Hajj.
Welcome back, guys. That is truly shocking. But all due respect to them, they are putting their citizens' lives first and foremost. And America should learn from that. And so should Brazil and many of these right-wing countries. Saudi is a very conservative, right-wing thinking government. However, you know, they're doing the right thing. Guys, country that we've never really looked at, Thailand. Many of you go to Thailand, many of us go to Thailand. They've done spectacularly well, guys. I have never featured them on this, and I haven't seen much of a story about them. You know why that is? Because they've done really well when it comes to COVID. So take a quick look at Thailand and how they defeated this. They really have. Take a look.
Nearly 3,300 reported coronavirus cases and not even 60 deaths. Thailand considers itself a coronavirus success story. And now the country claims it has eliminated community transmission of the virus. CNN's Anna Corrin has our report.
Thailand and its steamy capital of Bangkok welcome more Chinese tourists than anywhere else in the world. It was back in January when one of those travellers, a man from Wuhan, became the first COVID-19 case diagnosed outside of China. But fast forward to now, and Thailand says it has crushed COVID-19. Officially, just over 3,000 of the 66 million strong population have caught the virus, with only 58 deaths. And for 2 months, all new cases in the country have been brought from overseas. So how did Thailand do it?
The network of the epidemiologists and village health volunteers is the most important factors in controlling the COVID-19 in Thailand.
A bitter fight against the mosquito-borne dengue fever last year left Thailand in a strong position to jump straight on to a new infectious outbreak, experts say. Happy birthday. When COVID-19 struck, 1 million public health volunteers were already assembled and prepared to fan out across the country. When a case was discovered, this team of friends, family and neighbours traced and isolated it straight away.
Welcome back, guys. I mean, that is spectacularly great what they've done, and they're ready for an uptick if it happens. Guys, I'm going to go to my last video of the day now. And again, I'm going to touch on Argentina, which we've never seen before. Personally, that's the first full outlook on Argentina that I've seen. So I thought I'd feature it on here. I'm also going to go back to Japan, which we don't really feature. I featured a little bit about them when they saw a spike. So this is an update on what's going on in Japan right now. They're another country that did really well. And then we're going to touch on what's going on in China at the moment, which is also seeing an uptick. So this is scary, guys. So take a look at Argentina, Japan, and China.
Countries in Europe and Asia that thought they had the virus under control are seeing signs of resurgence. Japan reporting 1,300 new infections on Thursday. Its third day in a row with a record increase. The government says it is not considering a state of emergency, but Tokyo's governor is asking bars and restaurants to cut back on their hours. China also reporting an increase in new infections, more than 100 for the third straight day. CNN's Christy Lou Stout is following developments for us from Hong Kong. Bring us up to date on the latest numbers and also the spike in Xinjiang.
Yeah, cases continue to climb upwards in Xinjiang as China is battling this new flare-up of infection. China today reported 127 new COVID-19 infections, of which 123 are locally transmitted. This is the third day in a row that China has reported over 100 new cases of the virus. Let's bring up the fresh data for you from China's National Health Commission. China is reporting, again, 127 new cases, including 123 domestic ones. Of those domestic cases, 112 were reported in Xinjiang. It is stemming from what's been described as a gathering activity. Those infected, according to officials, have not been abroad this year. It's concentrated in the Tianshan district of Urumqi. That's the core downtown area of the Xinjiang capital.
Now, Argentina has reported its deadliest day so far from COVID-19. The country's health ministry reporting 153 deaths on Thursday, the biggest increase since the outbreak began. Overall, the virus killing more than 3,400 people there. Argentina has the sixth highest case count in Latin America, with more than 185,000 infections.
Come to the end of the week's show. The last video of the week. Remember, 30th of August. Keep an eye on my platforms, my Facebook, and on Instagram, on everywhere. It's everywhere, guys. So, guys, we look forward to seeing you all there on the 30th for the Million People March. And failing that, I'll see you guys on Monday with my next week's edition of the Full 100. So have a fabulous weekend. It's going to be a scorcher. Take care, guys, and take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.